Following the previous videos, I have in the previous videos, I have introduced how to cut out beginning or end part of a video file. Now I will talk about how to cut a part, not at the beginning or end part of video file. Play the video file to decide the beginning and end time of the part to be cut out. Instead of cutting out this part, we cut out the parts before and after this part of the video file. This is the command to cut out part of input file. Instead of cutting this part, we copy two parts of input file to two output files respectively. This is software, this is input file, duration, codec copy, this output file, start time, duration, codec copy, output file. This part we want to cut out this part, but instead of to cut this part, we copy this part to this output file, and to take this part of input file to this output file. This is the duration of this part of input file. This duration equals to this end time minus this beginning time. And so this part of input file will copy it into this output file. This is the duration of the second part of input file. It equals to this end time minus this beginning time. So we copy this part of input file into this output file. Create path file using app notepad. This is the path file name. This number sign means this line is not executable. It is explanation. This is the file path. This is the first input file. This is the second input file. Here we have hard disk name. So this path is absolute path. This path is also absolute path because we have a hard disk name here. This file path name, this path file is saved to the same folder as what holds above input and output files. So we will save this file to this folder, which holds this input file and this input file, and also output files. Concatenate files. This is the command. This option -F to specify device or file format. In this command, this option is to specify concat demux, which can concatenate files in this file according to the file's order. The number of files can be more than 2. Here we have only 2 input files, but it can be more than 2. Having safe option is to check if file path is safe. If the value is 1, then software will check if the file path safe or not. If this value is 0, then software will not check if the file path safe or not. Default value is 1. Relative path is considered safe. Absolute path not safe. Paths in this file are absolute and not safe. So we set the value to 0. We set it to 0. If paths are relative, it can be 0 or 1, or we just omit the option, and the default value 1 will be used. But in this command, in this path file, the paths are absolute. So we have to set the value of this option 0. That means this software will not check the path in this file safe or not, because absolute paths considered not safe, and the paths in this file are absolute. So we will not check the path safe or not. So we set the value of this option 0. What are safe file paths? They should be relative paths, do not contain protocol specifications such as HTTP, only contain letters, digits, period, underscore, and hyphen. No period at the beginning of a component. For example, we cannot put a period here before D of downloads, or before edit, or before E of edit, or before O of out1. If value of having safe is 0, any path is acceptable, no matter it's absolute or not, or relative. If path is absolute, having safe must be 0. If having safe is omitted, slide 4, the command becomes like this. Executing this command will pop the error information. This is the error information. This is also error information. This information says path is not safe. This information says the command cannot be executed. So because the paths in this file are absolute, so having safe option cannot be omitted, and the value of having safe must be 0. Otherwise, Otherwise, the command will not be executable, and error information will appear. Relative file path. This is the explanation 9. In this path, we have only file name. There is no any other component of file path. Only file name appear in the path. There is also only file name appear in the path. To compare with absolute path, this is the relative path. Here is the absolute path. Here you see we have a hard disk name here. So this is absolute path. We have only file name here. There is no any hard disk name. So this is a relative name. Relative path. If path is relative, the command is executable. The paths in this file are relative. So even without hypersafe option in the command will still be executable. And there will be no any error information appear. If path file is changed to relative path file, the command is executable. Welcome to comment and share the video, and click the subscribe button below this video. Thank you very much. Bye for now.